Hello and welcome again to Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris, where our goal is to get you the necessary information that you need so you can make your college experience an experience and not survive college. We're going to be talking today really about best practices of learning. I will do a little bit of time management. It is key. We just did advising, we've done the counselors. I think this is also a very, very critical component of your academic career. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. But it is my pleasure and honor to have Ms. K with us today from our ILC. I'm going to have her tell you what ILC is. So welcome, Kay.
Thank you very much. It's so good to be here.
It's great. It's great to have you. So my first question that I always asked my host, and I say, maybe I should stop saying it's a trick question because then people start thinking, oh no, what's this question going to be like? But it's a very straightforward question, which is, tell us a little bit about yourself, but more so, is this where you've always seen yourself? When you were in college, did you think you were going to end up in the ILC office?
Well, I'll tell you, so first I'll start with my college self. My college self never envisioned that I would be in any kind of educational setting at all. Wow. Yes, when I was in college, I was a writing major, English, all the literature, and I thought I was going to be a great writer. So fortunately, my writing skills have helped me, as I was a teacher first here at Wake Tech. I started in 2000. Okay. So it's been a little over 21 years. But first I was an English instructor, then I moved to Academic Foundations where I was an English instructor there. Then I moved to the ILC and I was a site coordinator for a while, and now I'm the department head for the ILC. So never in 1,000 years did I think that I would be in education even, so yeah.
So just so you know, I haven't had anyone yet that has told me. And we've interviewed almost about 20-something people.
Oh, wow.
And nobody, well, it's including myself. Is this what, okay, yeah, I wanted to do bridges, and I did bridges, and now this is where I am now. But yes. I love it. It's great, yes. Right? And I'm sure it's the same thing for you as well. I love it. Okay, let's talk about ILC. What is ILC?
ILC stands for Individualized Learning Center. So we are the free tutoring services here at the college. Mostly we tutor students who are in those classes where they want to get an associate's degree of some kind, but we are trying now, because of the strategic plan and because of the idea that we are one college serving all students, we are trying to build services so that we can support workforce continuing ed students as well as curriculum students. Great. So, yes.
This is a great opportunity because, again, in my college days, there was nothing like an ILC. Is this, since again, this interview is just going to go out into the world, everybody's going to see it, which is great. Does every institution have an ILC, or is this unique to Wake Tech?
Well, most institutions now have at least a writing center.
Okay.
And when I was in college, I got to be a writing center tutor when I was a senior. And again, I still had no idea that I wasn't going to be in education, but that's where I had my first experience. Now, most colleges, universities have at least a writing center. Some of them have more help. They might have a STEM center or a math and science lab where students can go and get more support. They might encourage students to join study groups for different areas of study. Luckily at Wake Tech, we have it all, We've got the ILC that has math, writing, science, computers, wow. Yes, and health sciences. But then we have our success centers like STEM and REAL and Think for the different departments. So we've got everything here.
No, that's amazing. That's great. So there are two things that I want us to kind of focus on, and I'm sure each of those two, it'll probably take us about an hour, but we're going to do our best to keep it short, right?
Okay.
And one is best practices. And again, I watched when you did a Teams presentation, and I was like, great, this is why I want Ms. K here to kind of help me with this, to help students out. And also the other one is time management. So let's start with best learning practices.
Okay, yes. Best learning practices. So a lot of times students think that when they do their homework, that's all they need to do. I've done my homework, I'm ready for class. But students have to do their homework, they have to read their textbooks, they have to take notes in class, they have to have separate study time just to go over their notes. So there's a lot that goes into being a successful student. And so best practice is really making sure that you're doing all of those things throughout the week and having a schedule that will allow you to do that. Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so usually when I ask that question, best learning practices, I go with where should I be doing it? When should I be doing it? How should I be doing it?
Okay.
So maybe we could break it down that way.
Yes, we'll break it down.
Yeah.
So every week,
Yes.
And this is, there have been studies that say for every 3 hours of a class, if you have a 3-hour class, then you should be you should be studying and doing homework and reading at least 6 hours a week. So if you've got a 12 credit course load, which is what most of our students have here if they're going full time, then that's like 24 hours of work a week for their class outside of class. So the best thing is to make sure they have an organized schedule where they can figure out when is the best time for me to study, when is the best time for me to read, which is going to be separate from studying, when is the best time for me to do my homework, and then if I need support, when's the best time for me to go talk to my instructor or go see someone in the ILC or, sit down and have this quiet place to study. So the being organized for your week, every week is very difficult, but that's what students need. So that's the what. Okay. The where is you need a specific place to study. You need to have a regular place because our body goes into work mode when we're at work. Our body goes into rest mode when we're getting in the bed, going to sleep.
Yep.
And so we need a specific place where we have our desk, our books, our calculator, our computer or laptop, whatever we're going to use, we need to have that space in our house somewhere.
Okay.
It can be in the bedroom,
I was going to go there.
but it can't be on the bed.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes. Because when we get in the bed, we go
Yes.
into sleep mode.
Okay.
We go into rest mode.
Good.
We don't want to think anymore.
Yes.
So we can set up a TV tray. We can set up a little desk. When I was in college, there wasn't a lot of room in my house, so I sat at the coffee table in my parents' living room. It was the room we were never allowed to go in unless we were older and doing something productive. And so they allowed me to go in. I would sit on the floor and do my work there. And so now when I need to think, I have to sit on the floor because my body goes into that mode still. Yes. So that's the where. Okay. We need a specific place. It can be in the library.
I was gonna ask you that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So if there's time after class and you have time to go sit in the library and you want your favorite spot, go sit in that favorite spot. Make sure that you are staying focused on your work. Allow yourself breaks if you need breaks. But have that certain spot because that's how you go into the mode of this is the time to get work done for school.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. So when you talk about the how, I actually had a question about that. Well, not really a question because I've been trying to tell students, you just said reading is not just it, right?
Right.
And it's very, very more, what's the right word to use here? Or is it more critical for the technical programs? Like I tell students, you can't read engineering.
Right.
You got to be doing some work.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So it's important to do homework. Homework is the way we practice what our instructors are telling us to do, right? So it's important to do homework. It's also important to explore. So if you are someone who likes taking a break and going online, well, do some online exploration for whatever your homework is about. Draw pictures, do things that are hands-on because that helps. So read your textbook, take notes when you're reading. Write down questions. A lot of times students say, I don't know what to say in class because I don't know what the teacher wants me to ask or what the teacher is going to be talking about. Well, if you've got questions from your homework, that's what you want to ask in class because you want clarity before the teacher goes on to the day's lesson. So, yeah.
That's great. All right, so now that we've talked about all the good stuff, let's put all that into the schedule and the time management.
Okay.
First, do you all help students with coming up with a schedule?
We do, yes.
Really?
Yes, we have a study skills center on every campus. Yeah. We have a study skills center online, and that's one of the things we do. We call it time management as well as choice management, because when you say choice, you are thinking about what you want to do, what you are choosing to do, and that's a way to empower you and have that mindset of, this is very positive, I am going to do this. So yes, we help with that, all campuses.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my process of how I used to help students do their schedule, and I want you to tell me how you all do it.
Okay.
Usually a student will come to me and the challenge is they're not getting their homework done, or they have, and immediately I recognize that it is because they have way too much going on. So I would tell them, I said, Monday through Friday. And I said, no, you know what? Let's do Monday through Sunday. I want you to tell me everything that you do. Just list it. Bring it to me. We'll put it in a schedule.
Yes.
They go, those who come back, that is. And that was the other question I was going to ask you. Those who actually come back, just put in their classes. And I go, I want to know when you go to bed. Yes. I want to know when you eat. Yes. I want to know when you do your laundry. I want to know when you do groceries. Yes. So I'm going to stop right there to kind of see, is that wrong? Is that a wrong process?
No, that's actually what we want to do too.
Okay,
yes,
great.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
We call it inflexible time.
Right.
You have to know, what are all the things I have to do. If I have to be in class from 9 to 12, put that down. If I have to drive from 8:30 to 9, put that down. When you eat, when you go to bed, get it all down so you can see what's open. Then the open time is your choice time.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm happy I wasn't doing the wrong thing. So
no,
that's great.
It's great.
That's great.
Yes.
So how many students do you actually have coming to you to say, could you help with my schedule?
Oh my goodness. There are so many I actually don't know. I know that I usually work with a handful, and I don't even tutor anymore. Right. We used to have time management workshops. Now we do it so that it's a 50-minute session. Right. And I can't tell you how many students, but I know that it's a lot. Time management and procrastination are the top two issues for students, for college students. Okay. If anybody is out there and feels like, oh, I just have work-life balance, I'm not doing it, I'm doing something wrong. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's that community college students have a lot of responsibilities. And so...
Not only community college students, I think all
students.
Right,
yes,
right.
All students have a lot of responsibilities. Right. All of us have a lot of responsibilities. Right. But we can help you figure out how to choose your open time, what to do with it. Yeah.
That's great, because I must be doing something wrong, because when students come to me with help with their schedule, when I tell them, go do this and then come back, first of all, I go through a process. Very few come back to say, okay, this is it. Those who actually come back and I help them with it don't even stick to it. So from your experience, I'm actually surprised that students actually will come to you and say, we need help with our schedule.
Yes.
How many do you think actually follow through? Because I'll be honest, Kay, I create a schedule and it's so difficult. Even I know that is what would be best for me. If I follow through it, it's so challenging to go through, even as a graduate student. Yes. So for students, how close do you think they follow their schedules? Yeah.
You know, I've had a lot of students. I used to say, come and tell me how it works. And I would have very few students who would return. So I feel you there. But what I tell students now is, studies say it takes 7 months for something to become habit. So you would have to practice that schedule and creating that schedule and having that choice time for 7 months for it to feel natural to you. So I say, if it doesn't happen immediately, don't worry about it. And we always have distractions and we always have disruptions. And so when we get off our schedule, we tend to feel bad. So now I tell students, don't feel bad. We always have to punt because life changes every day. And so as long as you are making that good faith effort, then you will be okay, And you may say, okay, I'm going to study for an hour and a half, and you only study for 30 minutes, well, that's okay. That 30 minutes is going to help. So, yeah.
It's good. So, unfortunately, I don't have data to support what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But the very few students that have actually, come to me, we got a schedule, we got it down, they follow it, they do their best to follow it. That's a very few really do well. I mean, those are some of my really good students. Again, I would love to tell students, somehow I honestly believe it is true that if you do actually follow a schedule, you could be successful in school or college.
Yes,
but,
yes.
When I say that, we're like, well, how many students have you really had that follow that? So from your experience, would you say yes?
I would say the students who I know who really have that dedicated schedule and follow it are the more successful students. But I'll also say that if students are creating that schedule and they can't do everything that they've put down, it really is okay. It really is okay to forgive yourself. I didn't do all the things I said I was going to do today. Tomorrow I'm going to try. Because if we have the mindset of, oh, this is not working, then we just give up, then we're not reinforcing those practices that are going to eventually help us get better. So the change is not overnight. The adjustment to a schedule is not overnight. I'm a number one procrastinator.
No, you're not.
I am. So I have my little calendar and I have my online email calendar and I have to sync them up and I try every day and I love checking stuff off. So when I get it done, it's such a gratifying feeling. That's what makes you want to keep doing it. And when you start seeing those better grades on tests and okay, I did all my homework, I got all my participation points for homework because you've taken that time and you've managed your time, those rewards will help you want to keep doing better too. And so eventually it'll become habit. But yeah.
So when you mention the how, or actually the where in best practices, and my students want me to ask you this.
Okay.
Because I've had actually a few students who have said, I have to study with some background noise.
Oh, yes, yes.
Is that normal?
That is normal.
Please,
Yes.
enlighten me. Yes.
That's normal and that's okay. So we, it doesn't matter if you're introvert or extrovert.
Right.
Sometimes we need that background energy to help our brains do whatever pinging they do.
So are we
process.
talking like rock music, background loud music?
Well, I
Yeah.
always say no rock.
Okay.
Because then you're paying more attention to the music. You're doing this
right.
instead of concentrating.
Yeah.
So I would say no words.
Okay.
Soft,
That's a good
gentle
point.
music.
Right.
And you can even put your earbuds on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'll help. It helps us get rid of other distractions.
Right.
So having music on can be very helpful.
No, I'm happy you said that because I always thought that was my students' excuse for not going to the library because that's what they would tell me. They were like, no, I can't stand in the library because it's too quiet. I have to have a background noise. And I go, that's not true. And they're like, no, it's true, Professor Chris,
really
that's true.
true.
So
Yes.
I'm happy you kind of confirmed that.
For some reason, it helps us concentrate. And our library gives out earbuds that you can keep. So you can go and put your earbuds in and listen to music in the library and get your studying done.
Ms. K, this is great advice. I always, by the way, every time I interview someone, I really don't want to end it. I just want to just keep going. But of course, we have to kind of come to a close at some point. Thank you for all the advice, but I'm going to have you do a quick closing for students so far as best practices, time management, or doing a schedule. What will be kind of your advice for students?
Okay. Well, the simple advice is make sure you're cultivating a growth mindset for yourself. Make sure you are telling yourself every day that you belong in Wake Tech or whatever school you're in, that you do belong, that you are learning, and that you can improve. You can do it. It takes time, it takes hard work, but you can do it. So make sure you have that mindset every day before you go out the door. The second thing I would say is that, you want to set up that schedule. So look at the time that you have that's free after you put everything else down that you can't choose, and choose when you are going to do your homework. Choose when you are going to do your studying. Choose when you are going to do your reading, and let it go through the weekend. But also choose time for when you're going to take care of yourself, because it is important to have a break. Even if it's 30 minutes looking out the window when it's raining, you need a brain break. And then use your resources. A lot of times students think that they have to go it alone. And college is built so that you get support, whatever you need. We built in free tutoring because we know students need support in their classes. We built in advising because we know students need support in making a plan for their academic pathway. So use your resources. We're here. We get paid for you to come see us. Come see us. Make us earn our money.
Where can students find you?
Oh, students can find us on our website. On our website, we have our appointments listed. We are on every single campus: South, North, Perry Health Science, West, RTP, yes, thank you, and Public Safety.
Okay.
And we are online.
Great.
Yes. So please come talk to us.
Well, there you have it. I cannot close it any better than Ms. K has just done here. So again, best practices. If I have to recap again, know your where, how, and when. I'm still thinking whether this whole rock music background noise, but Ms. K said it's okay, right? You need it, so we're good. We're good there. So far as schedule goes, again, I did say that I don't have data, but we also have some proof that if you do have good schedule, I think you'll be good. All right. So with that, please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and stay tuned for the next edition of Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris. Ms. K, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me,
Thank you.
Chris.
It's my pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
Great.